In the college canteen, Chintu sat holding his head. A thick book lay open in front of him titled Structuralist Criticism. What is this? Chintu mumbled. Just then, a voice asked, "You look troubled, Chintu." It was Professor Gyan. "Oh, Professor, this word is scrambling my brain." Professor Gyan smiled. "Don't worry. To understand this, you don't need a book, you just need a Bollywood masala movie." Professor Gyan explained, "Look, there are two levels to the world. One is what we see, which we call surface phenomena. And the second is invisible, which gives meaning to the visible things. We call that structure." He pointed to a nearby magazine. "Look here, Sholay, DDLJ, Bahubali, these are all different films, different surface phenomena, but the structure or formula behind them all is the same. A hero, a heroine, a villain, and lots of drama." "So you mean this formula is everything?" Chintu asked. "Exactly," said the professor. "A great thinker, Ferdinand de Saussure, called this Langue and Parole. All the dialogues, songs, and scenes in a film that we hear and see are the parole. But the rules of storytelling, the grammar of the film, that is the langue." For example, Professor Gyan continued, "In English, the correct sentence structure is subject plus verb plus object. That's the langue. When a speaker says, 'I eat mangoes,' that's the parole. The rule of sentence structure is the system, the langue. The actual spoken sentence is the individual use, the parole." Chintu picked up his cup of tea. "Professor, why do we call this tea?" Professor Gyan laughed. "A very good question. According to Saussure, every word is a sign. It has two parts. The word tea that you are saying is the signifier, and the image of hot milky tea forming in your mind is the signified. The interesting thing is that the relationship between these two is arbitrary. If we all decided to call this candy, then today it would be candy." "Wow, but how do we understand things?" Chintu's eyes were shining. "Through their opposites," the professor replied. "This is called binary oppositions. We know the hero of a film is good because the villain is bad. There is day, so there is night. There is rich, so there is poor. If you can pass, you can also fail. Without one, the other has no meaning." "Does this formula only exist in stories or in the real world too?" Chintu asked. "In all of culture," said the professor. Another scholar, Claude Lévi-Strauss, called this structural anthropology. Think about an Indian wedding and a Western wedding. The clothes, rituals, food, surface phenomena are all different. But the underlying structure or mytheme is the same, the union of two people and their families. Professor Gyan pointed to the TV in the canteen where a wrestling match was playing. "Look at that," he said. "One wrestler is like a hero and the other is like a goon. Without hearing a thing, you know who is good and who is bad." The thinker Roland Barthes called this semiotics, the science of signs. Here, the wrestlers' gestures and costumes are a sign system, which have become symbols of good and evil without a single word being spoken. "Let's go back to films," the professor said, starting to draw on a napkin. Another thinker, A.J. Grimas, called the characters in a story actants. Every story has a subject, hero, who wants an object, heroine, or treasure. A sender, like a king, sends him, and a receiver, like a princess, gets the object. A helper, friend, assists, and an opponent, villain, tries to stop him. "So does a story have its own grammar?" Chintu asked. Professor said, Tzvetan Todorov said just that. According to him, characters are like nouns, their actions are like verbs, and their qualities are like adjectives. Together, they form the sentences of a story. For example, sad Raju, noun plus adjective, fought, verb. Now, Raju is happy, noun plus adjective. See, the story moved forward. "But professor, sometimes the storyteller tells things out of order," Chintu said. "You've got it," the professor exclaimed. Gerard Genette described three things: the story, which is what actually happened, the narrative, which is the order the author tells it in, and the narration, which is the way it's told. Like if your friend tells you about his Goa trip, he might start from the beach, then tell you what happened on the train. That's the magic of narrative. So, are all stories just one of a few types? Chintu was amazed. Almost, Northrop Frye said, that stories are like the 4 seasons. Romance, where everything is wonderful, is summer. Tragedy, which has a sad ending, is autumn. Irony, satire, which makes fun of the world, is winter. And comedy, which has a happy ending, like most of our films, is spring. Wow, so the reader has a role to play, not just the writer, Chintu said happily. Absolutely, Professor Gayan patted his back proudly. Jonathan Culler says that we also use certain rules to find meaning. This is called the rule of significance. If a friend texts, "Gone to get milk," it's a simple message. But if the same line is in a poem, we start looking for a deeper meaning. Structuralism explains how meaning is